Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk About Sex here on XFM 100.2 with me, Melanie Kelly, and with one of my favorite brunettes ever. Oh my God, if Andrana hears me, she'll kill me.
I know, I think a bit of jealousy.
Hey. So anyway, that's her voice. That's Emma Hogg. Hi, Emma.
Hola, how are you?
I'm okay. We're in the middle of summer, so yes, it's okay. I'm
it's
okay.
hot already.
It's hot, and so is our radio show, baby girl. So, Emma, welcome to the show again. I love having you.
Thank you. I love being here.
And, for all the listeners, Emma Hogg is a therapist, and you always, I love your joie de vivre and your a life I choose projects, and you do workshops, and I went to your workshop, you're the one which, are you planning another one?
Yes, we'll definitely do the January one again,
Okay,
for sure. And then eventually we'll develop the next one.
Okay, fantastic. I'm sure you do just an amazing job as last January.
Merci beaucoup.
You're welcome. So today we're going to talk about polarity. Mm-hmm. And we have tackled this with Veronica Vazeri. However, I believe that different coaches, different therapists always bring different aspects of a conversation.
Totally.
So we're going to talk about why polarity of the feminine and the masculine energy is so important to our relationship. And I think this is something that very, very few people actually stop to really give it thought and to really think about it.
Yeah, and in fact, you know how I am. I choose the topic according to what's interesting me most.
At the time.
Yes. And this is something that I didn't used to think about much before, feminine and masculine energy. Never really thought about it that much.
Yeah.
But lately, I've really become curious about it. I'm finding it fascinating, so I wanted to share it.
Now, very important that what we make clear is that every person has feminine and masculine energy, and in no way does this have to do with our sexual orientation.
Yeah, or gender, exactly.
Or gender.
Yeah, exactly. There can be a woman who is more masculine and a man who is more feminine. But we have both energies within us.
So, first question that I am going to ask you is, what do we mean when we say feminine and masculine energy? What are we talking about?
So basically, it's kind of like a cute way of describing ways of being simply, right? So kind of if I say my feminine energy, I'm speaking about my intuition, my ability to connect and tune in, to let go and enjoy, to be playful, to be
vulnerable, maybe.
Exactly, good.
Loving,
exactly.
Provocative,
Bingo. Exactly.
Okay.
If I speak about my masculine energy, I'm speaking about my commitment, my decisiveness, my ability to focus, go after what I want.
Ambition, determination, go get it, tiger.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we have both, totally.
Yes, I was just saying that. When you're bringing out both of them, I for one, am very focused when at work, but I rely a lot on my intuition.
Exactly. So it's just about, we have both, and it's really good to be able to sort of tap into what you need at the, to be able to choose which energy you're going to lead with.
Okay, but I am sure you're going to tell me that there is a leading energy.
Yes, we each have a leading energy.
But is it a leading energy which is situational, or is it a leading energy which, when you meet a person, that is what you grasp from them? Oh, their masculine energy is more leading than the feminine.
Okay, so there is a leading energy that is your natural nature.
Okay.
That is your nature kind of
thing.
And it's really funny because up until fairly recently, I thought that my leading energy was masculine because I'm very go. But recently, I realized, and we were speaking just before the show, and you told me you had a similar experience.
Yes.
That my leading energy is actually feminine. And I know this about myself. I'm extremely intuitive, and, I fill up with love and everything. And but kind of, I stepped into my masculine for a long time, and it sort of became my way. And it was good. It served the purpose, right? So it's never a bad thing if you're in your opposite. It's not that it's a bad. It's a bit like
situational. Is it situational? Some situations require you to step in the energy that you need. So, for example, if I am at the moment in the middle of building an apartment and I have to deal with workmen and I have to deal with people and tilers, I mean, okay, it's good to be feminine, but you have to be a bit more powerful,
yes.
a bit more, I want it now,
Yes.
don't be late. So
it serves you to step into the masculine.
but I think some people can't even step in the masculine.
What do you mean?
Meaning some people, if they're leading energy in feminine, I am sure that there are some people who can never, let's say not say never because never is a big word, but there are people who still, if the situation requires them to be masculine, they would not be able to.
Yes, for sure. Especially, in fact, this is why sometimes it's damaging to the relationship, because sometimes there are people who are naturally masculine, who have learned to be feminine, who have adapted, right? So they grew up in a household where it wasn't okay to be demanding and say what you wanted and say what you needed and blah, blah, blah. And you learned more to please, kind of learn to please your parents to keep things like okay and not nobody loses it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the person with the masculine energy, let's just say it's a man for simplicity's sake, okay?
Okay.
It doesn't mean that it has to be a man, it could be a woman, but let's say and so they learn to please, so they step into this feminine energy. It's not a bad thing for a person with masculine energy to step into feminine energy at all. The problem is when it loses the spontaneity, when you get stuck there.
I understand. So let's say you are masculine at work because you have to be masculine at work, but di natura you are more feminine.
Yeah.
But then when you go back home in your relationship, you remain in the energy which is not your energy, which is the energy that you use in the situation.
Exactly.
So your energy would be, for example, female, but because of the relationship, you stay in the male, which then starts to cause problems in the relationship.
Yes, and the reason it causes problems is because the polarity is what attracts us in the first place.
Yeah.
So when you're attracted to someone, it feels like a magnet, right?
Yes.
You have no idea why. You don't know this person, but you're pulled to them.
Yes.
Okay? And this is the polarity of the masculine and the feminine energy. And usually when we first meet each other, we are more in our natural energy, or that person helps us to reconnect with our natural energy.
Okay. Interesting.
And it connects us, and we come together, kind of thing. What happens is that sometimes then throughout the relationship, so the energies need.
I so know where you're going to.
You know where I'm going?
Yes, I know. Go, girl.
Shall I go? Okay.
Of course.
The energies need different things. So there are different things that nourish the different energies, and then there are things that deplete the different energies. And we all do this to an extent or another. But let's say I was born with sort of more of a feminine energy, which I was, right? And then
life.
In childhood, I learned to put on a masculine mask. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about myself. I'm speaking about
in
whoever.
general.
But let's say I learned to put on a masculine mask. For example,
You had to be strong. You had to hold your family.
I had to be strong. Maybe
you had to.
My dad liked a strong female, and
So
said
you-
go for it. You can run your own business. You can do whatever you want, whatever. Anyway, then let's say in puberty.
So you put on a masculine mask, we call it.
You put on a masculine mask, right?
And you confuse it with your leading energy.
Yes, exactly. And it starts to become habitual. It starts to become the way
It
you do
becomes
things all
you.
the time. Then when you're in puberty, you put on another feminine mask because you realize, oh wait, the men are attracted to the feminine
The
kind of
girlies.
thing. Yeah. So you put on a feminine mask on top of the masculine mask.
Uh-huh.
It's not that you're going back to the authenticity, you're putting on another mask.
Uh-huh.
Now, when women are really, really hurt, okay, when people with feminine energy are really hurt, they will put on a masculine mask to protect them, right?
protect them.
When you're a woman,
Are you sure you're not talking about me?
I'm speaking about everyone. I'm speaking about me. I'm speaking about you. I'm speaking about us. Yes. When your woman is hurt and she's telling you it's fine,
It's fine, I'm okay, I don't need you, I can live without you.
that's the masculine
Yeah.
mask.
Was that too much?
That's
I don't need anyone.
exactly. Get out of my life.
Get out.
That's the masculine mask.
Plenty more fish in the sea.
Now, what happens is that
So that's a mask, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's armor.
Yes.
Right?
Protecting yourself.
Exactly.
Your
Protecting yourself from
vulnerability.
vulnerability because you
Yeah.
feel hurt,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The feminine person puts on the masculine mask when they feel unseen, unappreciated, unacknowledged, and unprotected. Because remember, the feminine is vulnerable, which means they need protection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we're running out of time, or I go
Yes,
further?
yes. I was going to stop you right there. We're going to go for a couple of songs, and this is so super interesting. And we're going to come back, and we're going to continue talking about polarity and how it's vital for our relationship. Okay?
Cool.
So don't move. And welcome back to Let's Talk About Sex here on XFM 100.2 with me, Mel and I. And in the studio, I am with Emma Hogg. And if you just tuned in, we are talking about polarity of the feminine and masculine energy within ourselves and how it affects our relationship, how it is vital for a relationship. And Emma, you were talking about how when... how polarity means like the opposite, okay, that attracts. And then you were about to explain, and we had to go for a break, how that changes. And you were talking about all the masks that we put on. So take it away.
Okay, so we were just about to speak about, basically what we said was like the feminine, the person with naturally more feminine energy would end up putting on a masculine mask when they're hurt, right? And the masculine
Yes.
mask is like, F off, I don't need you, I've got this covered, like, it's fine, whatever, okay?
But in reality, it's a mask.
It's a mask, they're hurting
Yes.
deep down. So the man or the woman with the masculine energy, right? So the masculine energy needs more, sort of, also needs to feel appreciated. Why do I keep saying that word funny? Needs to feel appreciated, okay? But when the masculine feels criticized or shut out, they get hurt, right? And sometimes what happens is that in childhood, so the masculine energy would have protected themselves. Maybe they would have learned like it's not okay for them to state what they want because that upsets the family dynamic, it upsets the mother, whatever. And they go into a pleasing role.
Okay.
Okay. And so they step into their feminine energy, which is fine. It's good to step into. It's really good for a man to step into his feminine energy and get in touch
Definitely.
with his intuition.
Oh, definitely.
Right? But he also needs to own himself. And so what can end up happening when a man is very hurt by a woman is that he gets stuck in the feminine for too long. And he goes into pleasing. So it becomes a yes, dear situation. And then every so often he'll flip out, right? And he'll get upset with the woman and whatever, because it's you can't stay in yes, dear for too long.
For too long.
But he doesn't do it from a masculine space of saying like, listen, this is what I need, this is what's hurting, this is what I need to change, blah, 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 blah. It's just a freak out and a pushing away.
Coping mechanism also nearly for him, or started out as that.
Exactly.
And then became habitual.
It's from the armor.
Okay.
Exactly. So what's happening basically when we're wearing these masks is that we're not being authentic.
Of course, to who we are. And
Exactly.
to what our energy truly is.
Exactly. When we speak about energy, sometimes it sounds a bit kooky and airy-fairy, but in reality...
No, yes,
it's
but yes,
just-
you're right.
It's just a metaphor, like for saying, like kind of, instead of saying, I'm quite intuitive, I like being, I like receiving or whatever, I just say, okay, that's my feminine energy. And if I say like I need to go, I need to probably
Step into my masculine energy.
It's just an easier way of saying it, right? It's a word that summarizes.
So what we're saying is that many times what happens to us throughout life, not only within a relationship, is that we put on these masks which are situational, which we then confuse with our leading energies.
Yeah, we get confused about who we are.
Yes, because for many years, and having this conversation with you now, I would have sworn that my leading energy was male.
Yeah.
But I can see that it is male because of the situations I have been faced with. So at home, I had to be male. At work, I have to be male. So, but in reality, if I really had to see both, my natural energy is actually
Yes.
very feminine.
Yes.
Very feminine.
Yes.
You know?
Totally.
But
Yeah.
completely mistaken for a masculine energy. I would have sworn that.
Yeah.
So
get you.
I would have put on a mask, which then I would take everywhere with me
Yeah, exactly.
and be misjudged
exactly.
because I'm not being authentic.
Yes. And so this is where the trouble happens in relationships, right? Because it's the polarity that draws us to each other in the first place. But then when we step into energies that aren't ours, we step into inauthenticity, right? And we're responding to each other from our armor. So basically we're in states of fight or flight.
Constantly,
Yeah.
practically.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even if not constantly, kind of that's where you're kind of... And then what happens is when somebody is not authentic with you, do you feel safe?
No.
No,
No.
right? Even if they're not outright lying to you, you'll feel that something's not right, and that triggers your spidey sense, right? We're animals at the end of the day. We feel each other. Even if we're not aware, we feel it.
And when you don't feel safe, even sexually,
If you're not safe,
safe.
you can't get sexual.
You can't get sexual, or you have sex,
But it's forced.
but it's very. If sex can have different levels,
Which it does.
which it does, and every time you can go to a different level,
Yeah.
You remain right touching the surface
Exactly.
because you don't feel safe.
Exactly.
So you can't let go.
Exactly.
So you can't play, you can't be provocative.
Exactly, and
you
that's the
can't
feminine
be-
energy, right?
Yeah.
The feminine energy is playful. It's about being. It's about letting go. It's about provocation.
Yes.
The thing is that for the feminine, the person with the leading feminine energy, to be able to own her feminine energy, she needs to feel
Protected and safe.
It's when she feels unprotected. So if in their daily life the partner is not tuning in, not paying attention, not making her number one, and this comes from her too, right? It's always
Yeah,
a two-way
of
street.
course,
We
of
need
course,
to make
of
each
course,
other
of
number
course.
one. But if he's not meeting her need for love and significance and certainty, she is not going to feel safe, which means she cannot bring her feminine energy, which means she cannot seduce you.
And then in turn, what happens is that if the sex remains, let's say, scratching the surface
Or not there at all.
or not there at all, disappears, then obviously
There's no intimacy.
There is no
and
intimacy.
that's not a romantic relationship anymore. 'Cause
It's functional.
The only thing that differs a friendship and a romantic relationship is the intimacy. Yeah?
And then it becomes just a functional relationship which is fine if you're both okay with that.
I don't know many people who are okay with that.
But you never know, we just don't want to say but.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we fix this, Emma? How do I realize I'm wearing a mask? How do I get out of the situation? Do I become more intimate? How do I become more authentic to myself?
Yeah, good questions. Okay.
Those are many, sorry.
Huh?
I just go on.
No, it's good. We'll tackle them and you can remind me and everything. So, one, in terms of fixing, remember, it's always a process. So it's never like, okay, now I know all the answers and I am awesome and I'm always in my feminine and I'm like, kind of,
Never.
we mess up and we're human and
Yes, and
and
go back and
relationships
forth.
are messy and
Yes,
that's
yes.
fine. We
Yeah.
are messy. We
Yeah.
are messy. And I think that's so important to remember. We are messy. And it's okay.
Yes, because I think me included, sometimes you expect everything to be so perfect.
Yeah.
Like the movies.
Yeah.
You know, that you forget that every relationship actually goes through its shitty times.
Yeah.
And I am sure every person in a relationship has thought, oh man, I'm leaving this guy. You know, or I'm leaving this girl. I'm not going to take this anymore. But then obviously there are those phases which last for a bit. And then there are the relationships where those phases are basically all the time.
Yeah.
That is when you have to make your decision then.
Yeah. Exactly.
So listen, I'm going to stop you here.
Okay.
We're going to go for a short break. And then we're going to come back. And you're going to tell us how to fix this.
Okay.
Okay? Or try and fix this process, actually.
How to be more spontaneous, right? And choose your energy according to what you need.
And more authentic to yourself.
Exactly.
And understand what your energy is. And maybe also, if you're listening now, an awareness. An awareness of, wait. I thought I was masculine, but I'm really feminine. And what am I doing to my partner? Or what is my partner doing that is keeping me in a state of masculinity, which is not who I really am? Mm-hmm. So maybe awareness of this, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are not even aware of the fact that we have to tap in masculine and feminine. And I think when the children come in the picture, you just have to go then from masculine to feminine with the child, back to masculine to work, and then back to feminine with the man. Or so, or am I going?
No, I get you, and I think what you're touching on as well is the fact that in this day and age, the masculine energy has always been favored by society. But nowadays, women aren't even allowed to be feminine.
No, women are like go.
They have to be shredded. They have to be, as financially independent and everything. And that's not a bad thing. Like, listen, I like achieving. I like money. I like whatever. I don't have a problem with this.
Of course.
The issue is the lack of spontaneity, right? It's when you cannot be true to yourself.
That it is being expected now, Emma, that if, and I was having this conversation with Veronica Vazeri, and we tried very hard to make sure that we're not misunderstood, that we now live in a day and age that if you say that you're a housewife, a lot of women say, I am just a housewife, because because society is making us feel that if, as women, we are not out there achieving, winning, being career-oriented, but we chose to take care and raise our children, there's something that we are not doing.
Yeah. A friend of mine once told me something really beautiful, and she said, we as women are the nurturers. And again, obviously there are women with more masculine energy, so that's different. But if you are a woman with feminine energy, you're a nurturer, right? Which means that you need to be protected, you need to be loved. And to be able to give love, you need to be receiving love. So if you are not able to receive love because of your circumstances or because of your mask, it's going to be really difficult for you to give love. So it's vital. What you're touching on is vital.
But I know I went on a different tangent, to a certain extent.
No,
but it angers me that women are not even allowed to be authentic to themselves. Because let's face it, if you're in a workplace, most of the time the woman needs to put in a masculine energy.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's go back. Let's go to our break. A couple of songs. We're going to come back and you're going to tell us how to fix it. Okay, Emma? Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
I will go.
And welcome back to Let's Talk About Sex here on XFM 100.2 with me, Melanie Kelly, and with Emma Hogg. And today we are discussing feminine and masculine energies, which have nothing to do with gender, have nothing to do with sexual orientation, but we are talking about how every one of us has both these energies, but we have one which is more leading than the other. And if you've missed all the show, shame on you. What have you been doing? We've been here since 9 p.m. rattling on. Blah, 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 blah. But anyway, they can find us on Facebook and on YouTube. So they can find us on Facebook, on the Facebook page of the show, which is of the same name. And then Emma, you will put it up on your pages. Yes,
Yes,
Life I Choose and
That's the one.
and Emma Hogg. So anyway, Emma, how do we fix it? How do we become authentic to our energy
Okay.
and who we are deep
Okay.
inside?
So one way is to, if you've been listening to the show, kind of just reflect on the responses you've had to this, and kind of like something that was interesting to me is that as I learned more about this, I felt relief when I realized that feminine was my leading energy. I felt relief because I got more in touch with what I needed. Right, to be seen, to be appreciated, to be protected, to be held, and so I got more in touch with my truth, and from there I could communicate it easier to my partner.
I so understand what you mean when you say the word relieved.
Yeah.
Because for so many years in my relationship, I had to step into my masculinity for so long that now that I am alone, or I'm separating, in my head, I refuse to do certain things. And these are funny, but they're not funny. And I keep telling myself, Mel, you are so strong, you're so determined, you do everything. Why do I refuse? Something silly, to take my car's AC to be filled.
Okay.
Why do I refuse to carry the water up the stairs?
Okay.
Because I like being protected.
Of course.
I like being... Now, these might be or seem like trivial things.
But they're not.
But in reality...
Yeah.
I like being protected. I want my man to carry my luggage.
And the interesting thing is, Mel, that the masculine energy wants nothing more than the presence of a feminine energy, which means that the masculine energy wants to please. The masculine energy feels most strong when they're pleasing,
saving the damsel in distress. Not in distress, really, but yes, I understand.
But pleasing.
Yes.
Pleasing, when they light you up, when they fill you up. That's why they like praise and acknowledgement, right? When you go and you tell them, thank you so much. When you did that, you made me feel so good. Thank you so much, right? They love it. They love to make their women feel good.
Yes.
So a masculine wants to do these things for their woman. And if you're thinking, my husband never wants to do that crap, he might be more in his feminine at this point. And it's not necessarily because his feminine is his leading energy. He might just be wearing the feminine mask. And also, I think men get confused nowadays. I think women get confused. I think we're all bloody confused because of this whole
what we were saying.
Equality thing. And don't get me wrong, the whole equality thing isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing. I have my own business, for crying out loud. I believe in inequality. But what I'm saying is, when we approach our relationships with this idea of equality, we're friends, not partners.
I agree completely. But I have a question. So do you believe that most females have a leading female energy and most males have a leading masculine energy di natura, by nature? Come on, we're talking nature here.
Look, I've never done I don't believe anybody has ever tested this all over the world. But yes, I believe that naturally most females have a leading feminine energy. Obviously, we can see from the very fact that there are transsexuals and there are gay and bisexual and lesbian, that it's not always so clear.
Yes.
And that, there are opposite energies that lead sometimes.
Yes,
and that's fine, it's just,
but by nature, we are the nurturers. By nature, we carry the child.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know you might be thinking, what are we talking about here? We're going back to the, but I'm not talking about the woman who stays at home and cooks. That has nothing to do with your female energy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about being sensitive. Let's face it, women are far more sensitive than men.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that you're right, and we
Most.
help our men to become intuitive,
Yes.
right? And our men help us to step into our
Then
masculine
there are the
and
exceptions.
go, right?
There
Because
are the exceptions.
Some men help you. They say, yes, of course you can do it. Go,
Yes,
and they light
yes.
you up, right? So, what was I going to say? I think I was going to say that the man, the masculine, sometimes will find, or I think often will find, that they step into their masculine more strongly by going through their feminine first.
Okay.
Because you need to intuitively feel yourself to be able to claim what you need, to be able to state it. You need to go
So you need to
home
know,
first.
you need to know what you want. And by knowing what you want is to go within.
Exactly. Exactly. Which is a sort of a naturally more sort of feminine thing to do.
So what
right?
do we do to fix our relationships? How?
So one, it's important to understand your leading energy, or just kind of if you're not into the concept of leading energies, but I think you are because you've listened to this point of the show. So
Yeah.
I think you're a bit curious. You can do tests like Tony Robbins has a really good test online that
Seriously?
you could do. Yeah,
I'm
quiz.
so gonna do this.
So if you just type in Tony Robbins feminine masculine energy quiz, there's a quiz you can take. It takes like 5 minutes to take, and it will tell you what your leading energy is, and you can read all about the masks there. Your partner can do this too. What's most important is that you ask yourself, and you get super honest with yourself about how you're feeling in your relationship. Because very often we don't even like to get that honest with ourselves, because relationships always need improvement. It's not like anybody just, steps into a relationship and it's just, oh, we're perfect. Like, it's not like that.
No.
Like, there's always room for improvement. We're growing. But it's good to ask yourself, okay, where am I in the relationship? How am I feeling? What do I need from my partner, and what does my partner need from me?
I think very few relationships do that, Emma.
This is the fundamental. I know I'm cutting you off. It's just that I'm passionate. This is the fundamental part of relationships. It's called heartfelt communication, and this is where the intimacy comes from. Because when you have heartfelt communication, which is different to just communication. So communication is, for example, I tell you, Mel, when you did that, it really hurt my feelings. And you come back to me and say, oh, shit, I didn't mean it. Why ma get over it? Like, that's not heartfelt.
No.
Yeah, obviously.
No.
So but
Let's get on with it conversation.
But if I come to you and I say, Mel, like when you did that, like I really felt, I felt left out, and I felt like you didn't want me around. And you tune in and you tell me, I see what I did. I'm sorry for what I did. And then the next time you adjust your behavior, that shows me that what I said affected you.
Listened.
You cared enough to adjust. Now, it doesn't mean that we lose ourselves to each other, because obviously if you're asking me to adjust in a way that doesn't feel right to me, then I need to communicate this to you as well. And this is also part of heartfelt communication. But what's important is that we have the honesty to the point that we say things to our partners that we're scared will hurt them. But we say them in a way that respects ourselves, respects our partners, and respects the relationship.
And maybe not with a judgmental...
When we come at the partner attacking, which we all do from time to time, right?
Not attacking.
But own it if you've done it, okay? Kind of, nobody's a perfect human being. We mess up. It's okay. Own it, come back, apologize, and communicate, right? But yeah, we need to communicate what we're not okay with 100%, because we need to be able to we have to love each other. We have to be compassionate. And a lot of love is meeting the other person's needs. It's putting the other person first. Not to the point that you sacrifice yourself and then you don't know who you are. That's when you're in your feminine energy way too much, right?
Yes. And you're just pleasing.
Exactly. That's when you lose yourself. You don't know who you are. It's a balance of this.
So what we're saying is that first and foremost, go deep within. Mm-hmm. Try and recognize what your leading energy is. And Tony Robbins, his website, can help do that.
Yeah.
Be authentic to yourself. And if you are primarily more female energy, but you feel that you are stuck in your masculine energy, I think it is important to sit down and question it. And ask, why am I? And then try and have the heartfelt communication that you are talking about.
Yeah. And there are certain things that you can use as anchors to get into your feminine or to get into your masculine, right? Like a way to get into your masculine is to have a good workout that will help you get into your masculine. But obviously you need to ask yourself what you need. Because like sometimes a feminine will go and work out hard, but in reality what she needs is rest and recovery, right? Or a masculine will go and journal, but in reality what he needs is to take action, you know? So it's about listening. But the reason that when we step into our leading energy, this rekindles passion is because it rekindles trust.
Safeness.
Exactly.
Safety.
And when there's safety, we can be playful, we feel protected, we know that we come number one no matter what for each other. And from there, from trust comes respect. Without trust, there's no respect. And when you can't respect your partner, there's no way you're going to feel attracted to them. Yeah?
Yeah.
So trust is the basis of everything. You want to have sex, you have to trust. But you have to earn trust.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Emma, for being with us tonight. That was so interesting, as always.
Thank you.
As
I love
always.
it. It's always interesting to have the conversations with you.
I love it. I love this. So probably now after the show, we'll be like, yapping some more, you and I.
And we should have recorded the whole
Yes, yes. So it's probably... So anyway, thank you so much. I look forward to having you on the show again and again and again and again and again. So in the meantime, have a good night, everybody. Have great relationships, great sex, great communication, great everything, and great respect.
Yes.
That's what we said.
Yes.
Respect.
Respect.
Good night.
Good night.